Welcome to Teen TV Presents, a show where the members of Teen TV shed a spotlight on local nonprofit organizations with the goal of raising awareness and letting the viewer know how they can get involved. Today our topic is the New York Blood Center, and our guest, Stacey Sotilli. Thank you for joining us. Stacey Sotilli.
Thank you.
Okay, so first off, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Stacey Sotilli. I'm 48 years old. I'm a wife and a mom. I have 2 boys at home. I have a 12-year-old and a 21-year-old. And I was diagnosed with sickle cell disease as a baby, and that's why I'm here today.
How has this affected your life and everything?
Oh, it really has affected my life since I was diagnosed at 11 months old. My parents, they really didn't know what sickle cell disease is. For those of you who don't know, it is a genetic blood disease where the red blood cells, instead of being round like they should be, they're shaped like a half moon or a sickle shape for the name. And as they travel through my body, they get caught up sometimes in my extremities. And when that happens, it loses oxygen because the red blood cells carries oxygen throughout the body. And I have a lot of pain at that time. And it's a very serious illness where some people have strokes, and it can affect any organ in your body.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm in a good place right now,
Good.
And that's great because the Blood Center has a lot to do with it, the New York Blood Center.
Can you tell us exactly what is the New York Blood Center?
Well, the New York Blood Center, they have a very tough job. They supply blood for people who are in need, not just in New York, through other states also. But I don't have the statistics on how much they supply, but it's a very high demand. And you know, they do a wonderful job because at times it's not easy to get people to donate because nobody wants to get sick or you know, have to go in to give blood, but it really made a difference in my life. In fact, I wouldn't be here today without it.
What's your role at the New York Blood Center? How long have you been with them?
Well, I've been in this role as I'm a recipient spokesperson, and what I do is I go out, they call me when they have events like to try to get people to know the need of basically show a face to who the blood goes out to. So I go and I speak at different corporate events and media events to let people know the importance of donating blood and just to show people how it's made a difference in my life. And I've been doing this for about 10 years now.
How, which way do you reach people the most, do you think?
Well, I think by going out, it's also a presence on their website. When you go on the website, you'll see my face. And also, I guess the biggest way would be on the blood donation trucks. They have, I think it's over 300 trucks, and my face is on, on those trucks, along with other recipients, people who receive blood. And those trucks can be seen in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So lots of time people call me or they'll snap a picture and send it to me, and they're like, hey, I just saw you in the back of the truck. And ironically, it's been on there for almost 10 years now, and I haven't seen any really a person, but people send me the pictures.
Oh, that's amazing. So can you tell me about some of the goals of the organization?
The goals of organization is to make sure that we always have a supply of blood, so that, you know, anything can happen, a natural disaster, or even something horrific, you know, there was a accident with Kobe Bryant, any type of accidents like a car, helicopter crashes, or just for someone who's going in for a surgery. The goal is to have at least 3 days supply of blood. And it's really not an easy task because I also call people sometimes to try to get donations, and you wouldn't believe the excuses that I hear.
Do you think people underestimate the amount that they can do to help and stuff like that?
I think so, probably so, because I do get a bigger effect when I do go out to the public and people see me and they hear like how it's helped me and some of the things that I've been through with my health, and to know that I have children at home that, you know, because of something that they did where they spent maybe an hour of time, that it affects my life so drastically, and I'm able to be a mom and to be with my kids and not sick in a hospital or like, you know, I'm alive today because of it.
Were you diagnosed at the New York Blood Center?
No, no. Mm-mm.
How can people get tested for it?
For sickle cell disease? Gratefully now, all states test newborns when they're born. So anyone that has a newborn in the United States, it's automatic. They're automatically tested, and as a part of genetic counseling, if you do get a positive, or like if, like for me, my youngest son, my husband has the trait, which I didn't know he had the trait, and the trait means that he's a carrier. So with someone like me, it gives a higher percentage, a 50% chance between me and my husband for our child to come out with the disease. Mm-hmm. So when I was pregnant with my youngest son, I had an amniocentesis, and they found out that my son only is a carrier. So luckily both of my children, they don't have the disease, they're only carriers. But for anyone that's born in the United States, they will get tested at birth. And but you know, sometimes people fall through the cracks, that people that come from other places that live in the United States. A simple blood test is the way you can find out.
What is treatment like for the disease?
Well, right now, for anyone who has a disease, when you have what is called a pain crisis or a sickle cell crisis, that's when your whole body has that pain that I described. You go to the hospital mostly if the pain doesn't get treated at home with oral pain medication, then you have to go into the hospital, the emergency room, and what they'll do is they'll start an IV, because one of the things that is like you really shouldn't do is get dehydrated, because when you're not hydrated, those cells are easily clumped, you know, because they get sticky and they get stuck together and they get clumped together. So when you get an IV, it helps, the fluids helps flush it out so the blood cells can flow normally. And so I'll go in and they'll give me an IV and they'll give me pain management for the pain. With the sickle cell disease also, we have a low immune system, so this time of the year is really, you have to really be careful because of the flu. You know, you hear everywhere, like just for normal people without any type of chronic illness, of what the flu can do. So I'm definitely one of those people that they consider high risk, so I must get a flu shot, a flu vaccination, because the flu can be fatal. And some of the things that people without this illness have, and they, you know, they think like it's nothing to worry about, a cold or something like that. It could be more dramatic and even life-threatening for someone with sickle cell disease. And also blood transfusions. I guess we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that is one of the major things that's keeping me healthy right now.
How does working for the New York Blood Center help spread awareness?
Well, again, I just feel like sometimes when someone donates blood, they just wonder like, okay, they're giving their blood. They never see like the results of where the blood goes to or who uses the blood. So just to have a face, and we did a couple of short films at the New York Blood Center that you can find online. If you go to YouTube, you can find them online, and it shows like what it's like for a normal day for me and my family, and it showcases like me at home cooking with my son and doing things, you know, that I would normally do. And I think people find it more relatable when, you know, they know that it's not just like being their blood and it's not just being wasted away, that someone is actually alive because of they took the time to be caring enough to come out and to donate blood.
So you think that if people went to these websites, then they'd realize how important it is?
Of course, I believe so.
Now it's time to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear more from Stacey and find out how you can get involved with the New York Blood Center.
So here we are at the Blood Donation Center in Northwell, and here to help me out to show you how easy it is to donate blood is Allie Zendrian of Northwell. So she's going to take you through and you're going to follow her through the whole donation process.
I've been a blood donor, I believe, for the last 10 years or so. I try to do it every time that I get a chance. It just feels like a great way to give back. So looking forward to doing it this time. So right now we're going to go over the medical questionnaire. So we just filled that out on the iPad. There were a series of questions about my health history, so we're just going to go over that, make sure that I'm still a good candidate to donate blood. I just got my medical clearance completed. We went over the questionnaire. I got a finger prick, so I believe that was just to check to make sure that I'm not anemic, and I passed the test, so I'm going to go donate. Yay! So they're prepping me to get my blood donated, so they labeled all the products, anything associated with my blood to make sure that everybody knows what type it is. I'm B positive, just in case anybody wants them to know. And then they're gonna swab my arm to clean it up and find a good vein, which on me is a little bit tricky, but if you drink lots of water, it helps. I know that I've heard from some people, even some friends of mine, that they get kind of scared of donating blood. Personally, I'm kind of wimpy myself. I'm probably one of those, hold somebody's hand when you get a shot, but really, like, this doesn't hurt very much at all. Actually, I don't think that it hurts at all. So don't be afraid of that. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes, apparently. I just learned today, so it's pretty quick. Yeah, really no reason to be afraid. So now if you're me for the next 5 or 10 minutes, you'll spend time looking at pictures of your son on your cell phone.
I'm Derek Bosch, A positive, and I've been donating every 2 to 3 months for about 20 years now. Just felt like the right thing to do.
Hi, my name is Tim Rauschvis. I'm part of the Flex staff team. I've been donating for about 10 years now, and I love to be able to give back, the gift of life.
This is great. I didn't do anything. They just did everything for me. Took my blood. Now I'm eating. I just had my apple juice. But for the next 48 hours, I have to drink. I can eat. I can do anything.
All done. I made it in 7 minutes. Dude, I just lost a pound. Oh, cookies. Oh, yay. Thank you. There's a shortage of blood right now in our immediate area. So depending on how short we are, we could not have blood available if somebody were in an accident or needed a blood transfusion or something like that. So it's really important, if you can, to donate blood now. 7 minutes, super painless. I didn't even get to look at my son's photos because I was just so preoccupied with other stuff. So it went by really quickly. I had my Oreos already, so I'm feeling pretty good. And I lost a pound, so I'm that much closer to my weight goal. So life is great. But it was a really good experience. Didn't hurt at all, so it was great.
Okay, so that was it. You got to see how the donation process works, nice and simple. And now that you know how easy it is, it's your turn. So go out and donate.
Hi, welcome back. We're here with Stacey. So we learned a lot about the New York Blood Center, but now we want to know how teens can get involved with the organization.
Well, teens can get involved by donating blood themselves if they're at the age level to donate. And if you're 16, you need a parent's letter from a parent to give the consent. Also, a lot of schools have blood drives. If your school doesn't have a blood drive, you can go to your school, the people at your school, whether it's the guidance, and ask them how could you have your own blood drive at your school, and get involved that way. There's ways you can call the New York Blood Center or go on the website, which is nybloodcenter.org. Or you can find out online where's the nearest blood drive to you, and you can go there. There's a lot of blood drives. You don't have to wait for your school to have their own. there's always one going on in a community somewhere, so you can go online and find out where's the closest blood drive to you and go donate. Spread the word. You know, if you're not able, bring a friend, you know, get other people involved. And the wonderful thing that I experience when I go out and I speak to different people, which I think is such a great thing. I meet people who are like, they're in a gallon club, which that means they donated over a lifetime, they donated over a gallon of blood. And a lot of people get there, they make it a family event.
Oh, wow.
Which is so heartwarming. And I meet a lot of seniors, you know, that they do it, then their kids do it, now they got their great-grandkids, and it's just like a family, you know, a rite of passage for their family. So I think when you look at it that way, it becomes more meaningful to you, and, you know, it's a great thing that you can get involved in.
Just realize like how important it is to your family, and then you like, keep it going. And
Yes.
that's great. What are your future goals with like the blood center and in regard to sickle cell awareness?
Well, the future goal for sickle cell disease, there's no universal cure for it, which means that there is people who were cured through bone marrow transplants and stem cell transplants, but not everybody can receive that. You have to have a match, or so, you know, someone to match. So that would be the #1 goal, is to get a cure for this disease. The New York Blood Center is doing a wonderful job right now. My personal treatment right now, I go every 5 weeks and I receive 8 units of blood. So this has been happening for the past 2 years because I was very, very ill before this happened, and my doctor said, you know, we have to do something new and different. And I get what's called an exchange transfusion. So it's sort of like dialysis. What they do is they take out the sickled blood in my body, the unhealthy blood, and they replace it by donated blood. So with that, I'm doing a lot better, and I'm in the hospital less often than I was, because with sickle cell disease, sometimes I can be in a hospital for 3 weeks, a month at a time, and you know, it's not just the patient that suffers, the whole family suffers. I'm away from my children, my son when he was younger, both of them, they had anxiety, separation anxiety. So, you know, this is really needed for people with sickle cell disease, and for people in general that just, you never know, it could be you. You know, I don't want to say that, but you know, life is unpredictable. One day, you never know if you may need one, and you want to know for sure that the blood is there, that you're not in need, and then they're like, hey, we have no blood for you. Imagine that, you know. Yeah. Who wants to? No one wants to imagine that.
Is there anything else you'd like to add for our viewers? I'm just want to thank you guys for having me here today, and you know, bringing awareness to this, and just go out. I know needles can be scary to some people. Don't think about it. Go out, think about the great thing that you're doing to help people. We're so glad that you could join us. It's great.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for today on Teen TV Presents. For more information about Teen TV or NSTV, please visit nstv.org. And if you know of an organization we should have on the program, please email the info at nstv.org. Thanks for watching.